Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Table Ready podcast. This is Todd. I'm the host here. Just getting into the rhythm of everything going on, and we wanted to welcome you to another episode. I know that was a little more long-winded than I expected it to be, but hey, bear with me a little bit. So, what we're going to be talking about today, and is going to be the normal humans of the Astra of the Imperium of the 40k universe, and that's going to be the Astra Militarum. And if you don't understand who the Astra Militarum is, they are just the common foot soldiers. They are the typical unmodified normal human individuals that exist in the Warhammer 40k universe. And you're thinking, in a universe that has not only superhuman soldiers, and they're wrapped in ceramite armor, and with floating tanks and weapons, their common weapon is essentially a rocket propelled grenade. Like, what do these guys really have to offer? I mean, they do have flashlights, but I mean, really, what does the common guy have to offer in the world of Warhammer 40k? So before we get into our main topic, I just wanted to go over a couple things that I have been working on the last couple weeks. And first off, I haven't got a ton of painting. It's been the end of the school year. We've been really, doubling down on some of the stuff that's been going on and trying to make sure that the end of the school year happens and everybody gets to where they need to be. And of course, my youngest one, he's just finished 8th. Plus all the regular day-to-day stuff. My other son, of course, he's band. He played in the orchestra for graduation, and again, stuff like that's really kept me busy. The biggest thing that I did want to share, though, is the only thing I really worked on. I did a little bit of paint on a couple miniatures just to kind of get my hands on stuff. But I did want to show you, I've been doing some work on the Avatar Kane. And of course, I do a lot of the fire and stuff on him before I get into the details of the armor. And if my camera just stays on focus just long enough, you might actually see the oranges and yellows in there. And for you that are listening on audio, I apologize. Let's just say it's a dark brown color with some orange and yellows and flames put through. So, but I am working on him. Obviously, if you are watching, he doesn't have a head. It'll get there. I'm going to paint it separately. So, just working on that. And then, of course, Friday night, the boys wanted to play a Warhammer battle. So Logan and Michael got together, and I came downstairs and just kind of moderated for them. And they actually played the Death Guard against the Tyranids, and Michael was playing the Death Guard for the first time. It's a lot of confusing stuff. He missed a couple rules, stuff like that. Wanted to go back. Logan was getting a little upset, but all in all, realistically, the game went over well. I think they actually tied at the end, so that's a fascinating start for somebody that first played their army for the first time. So they played about, I think, 1,000 points. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where they landed, because I know we don't have 2,000 points of Death Guard yet. And we were trying to test out the new rules, the new codex rules, stuff like that. I'm trying to get them more into doing some of the stratagems and stuff like that, but they're really kind of just working their way up at this point. I mean, they're still a little slow on like the secondary objectives, and which probably would have would have ruled out the difference in the battle. So just running their typical mission, they did good. I'm proud of both of them. They're really getting along in their Warhammer 40K experience. Then Saturday they decided that they wanted to play a combat patrol, which was pretty good. They actually switched up armies. Michael played his Tau for combat patrol, the one with the ghost keel and the stealth suits, the older one, and Logan played the Blood Angels. Logan was not real thrilled that the Blood Angels only kind of had 3 units to deal with all those different Tau units and stuff like that. But he did do a really good job. Michael ended up winning that in the end. He really just kind of camped out with the Tau and kept the Blood Angels away, which is exactly what he should have done. So he did a fantastic job. After that, Sunday, of course, was Father's Day. So we did have a nice, relaxed day. Enjoyed some grilling for the family. Got a new shirt, which, of course, if you know me, I'm a Star Wars fan, so a Death Star is perfect for what I want. And then the one thing that I did get that I really wasn't expecting was this guy here, and that's a Rogel Dorn. And anybody that really watches this channel, I don't really talk about the Astra Militarum as one of my main armies. I do play them from time to time. They've kind of been back shelf for a little while. So just because I haven't picked up the Codex yet, I haven't really had time to play with it. I've really been trying to finish up the Thousand Suns that I have. I enjoy playing my Dark Angels. Of course, I finished the line, and I still haven't put him on the table. But realistically speaking, like, excuse me, I really want to put out there, I do play the Astra Militarum. So even after all this time, I've never picked up a Rogel Dorn. And if you really want to see, let me open this up here. I only opened one end. Apparently it's stuck for me. Automatically went to the wrong side. So the Rogel Dorn is a pretty interesting set. The amount of details in here, just the tread parts, the side pieces. I didn't get a chance to build it. Yes, I know. I bought it on Sunday and I still haven't even cracked the first sprue. It's been kind of one of those weeks. So it went from raining to incredibly hot here in Pennsylvania. So I'll get time. It's okay. And again, some of the details, just the gunners that are in there, the gun points, and even like this is a lot of the carapace and stuff. And then as you get into some of the details, like they have stowage on everyone, really cool. Looks like we'll be able to swap out those sponsons with just a quick magnet. I'm really enjoying that. So yeah, so I'm going to be working on that. I have been working on my Imperial Knights a little bit, trying to get them all together, built together, everything working. I do have currently, I have 2 of the armorers completely built and ready for primer. I got another one that's probably 50% built, so that only leaves one more that I need to build after that one. But they're really fun. I did come up with a serious theme for it, and again, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm also a Mandalorian cosplayer. If you don't see the helmets in the background, those are the ones that I wear. So what I do want to do is my first night that I painted up a Crusader. I did magnetize the secondary arm. So I have the rapid fire battle cannon, and then I have either the Crusader arm, the Paladin, or the Aaron. That might not be right, but I do have the fist, the chainsword, and the Mega Blaster. So I could swap all three of those out. So that being said, we were talking about some of the different things that we could do and some of the kind of, almost themed Star Wars things. So I think what we're going to do is I'm actually going to build my new one in the theme of Canis Rex, and I'm going to paint it like the Mandalorian, like Din Djarin, so that when Sir Hector pops out of it, I'm going to paint him in those green and brown colors like Grogu, so that when the knight dies, Grogu can still run away from him. I think it's an amazing idea. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, the knights are really just for fun. They were never expected to be like a big serious army, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All the armigers, when I paint them up, they are going to be Mandalorians that I know. So it's going to be myself in my armor colors. We're going to do, I'm thinking I'm going to do Ken and Dan and someone else. I haven't decided on the fourth one yet, but I think that's the ones that I'm going to work on. So that's that, and we're going to get those painted up. That's going to be my summer project. I don't really rush through them. I really enjoy just painting them and having a good time, and I'm going to magnetize it so that if I don't want to run Canis Rex, I can just do like a normal whatever errant or a whatever I want to do. I'm going to magnetize as many as I can. So enough about knights. What we're really here to discuss, one of the big things that I wanted to work on was the Astra Militarum. Okay, how do we take a combat patrol and bring it up to Crusade level? So if you don't know by now, combat patrol is the basic box that you can buy to get into an army. It's usually like $180, give or take, depending on where you go, if you get a discount, yada, yada, yada. What I'm going to do is take that basic box that's available that you can order from Game Workshop and address the way that you can bring it up to the level of Crusades, which is probably your next starting point if you want to play an Escalation League or playing Crusades or play team events or something like that. You're going to want that 1,000 points as a solid unit or a solid army. So what it does, what the Astra Militarum starts with is Acadian Command Squad, which is 5 guys. You have 10 Rough Riders, which is 2 5-man squads. And then you get 1 squad of the Kasserkins. So actually, it's a really nice box because you get 25 models. Now, the bad part is it's only 295 points. Ouch. That's a lot to step up to. You're going from less than 300. You need to add 700 points. And there's a lot of these armies that are actually closer to 500. There's a lot in the 400 range. I don't think anything actually, I think there was one army that actually passed 500, but not by very much. And I know that obviously, like in Combat Patrol, they rebalance those abilities so that you can play them as a fair fight. So what I did was, what I wanted to add to really get the kind of feel of the Astra Militarum is the first thing that I added is I added 2 Castellans, because the main thing that you're going to want out of anything in the Imperial Guard army is to get extra orders out. The more orders you get out, the more things you can do, the more effective your troops are going to be. So I added 2 more Castellans. They're going to go. Oh, and I should mention, I wanted to add another squad of Casterkins. The Castellans will go with the Casterkins. That gives them solid leadership, and will definitely get those orders out to all the units around them. Now, just to get that Imperial Guard feel, the Astra Militarum, I wanted to put those back in Chimeras. That will get them around the battlefield faster. That will get them to where they need to be. Chimeras have firing points, so they can fire out. They have firing decks, I'm sorry. So they can fire out of the vehicle, and only 2 guys. But the nice thing is, you know, from the Casterkins, and let me double check myself before I misspeak. They do have those hotshot las guns, which are the hotshot las guns, which are 24-inch range, rapid fire. So on top of the Chimera unit, the Chimera itself shooting, you can fire those hotshot las guns out and really have them do some work for you. Now, again, if you don't know, the las guns are still only strength 3 with a -1 AP, but you're looking at that rate of fire, and you want the Casterkins to really get onto those objectives and do their work right at the objectives. So, and of course they do, excuse me, the Casterkin unit has the ability that once per battle round, at the start of any phase, you can select 1 order to affect this unit until the start of your next command phase. So, and that's in addition to any other orders that are issued to them. So really, you're kind of like doubling and tripling down on some of the orders so you can get your units to do more stuff. And that's really what you need to do, because your guardsmen are not incredibly powerful. They're not powerful at all, but you're looking at that rate of fire. They're going to move around. They only have toughness 3. They have a 4 leadership as a Casterkin. So you really want to kind of get them out there and get them doing their stuff, and hopefully not getting trampled. So the next thing that I wanted to add, now that you got your troops supported out, you have your little tanks that you're going to be pushing around your Casterkins in, so that they can get to the objectives. The next thing that I really wanted to bring to the forefront was a Hellhound, and nothing screams the Imperial Guard like a Hellhound does. The Hellhound is basically a tank with a huge flamethrower on the front of it. And to be honest with you, this is one unit that I still don't own, but I still would really like to have. So they have 10-inch move, 10 toughness, 2+ save, 11 wounds. They're literally a tank. I mean, and then on top of that, it's just an Inferno cannon. And you put a heavy flamer on the front of the thing, and that's everything that you want it to do. You know? So, I mean, nothing yells out the Imperial Guard other than a huge tank with a big flamethrower, and then more flamethrowers on it. And then on top of that, they have the special rule that they can scatter units. And scattered units, of course, do not gain the benefit of cover against anyone in your army. So it's a fantastic little tank. We are looking at, I think it's right around 125 points. So it's not super expensive. It's a nice unit to throw in there. And I really, of course, if you haven't sat through any of these, you don't know what I'm talking about. I try to put the most bang for your buck into these units, into these combat patrol upgrades, because I don't. If you're really getting into the game, you want the units that are really going to yell out to you, "Hey, this is Astra Militarum. This is how we work. This is iconic vehicles." The last thing that I put in here, the thing that really, of course, is the Lehman Russ battle tank. And I don't care how you make this Lehman Russ battle tank. Uh, you can kind of search for some room. I know the Lehman Russ goes from a lot of different point levels, 145, 150, all the way up to 180 for an exterminator, 190 for a demolisher. What I would do, to be honest with you, I would just go with the standard battle tank. That's what I figured out, because it is exactly everything that you want out of that tank. It's right around 185 points, so it is the basic one is really on the expensive side as far as points go, but it really will do the work. I mean, everything on the thing has the two main guns, the battle cannon, the las cannons, and you can surround this thing with las cannons and the sponsons as well. So you will have 4 different gun emplacements with 48-inch range. That the lowest strength on them is strength 10. It will do everything that you want it to do. Again, I mean, it's 11 toughness, 13 wounds. I mean, this thing will argue down a Primarch. So it is tough. It is the only thing that it's really kind of missing is an invulnerable save. But hey, you get just the right tank in there, and people can't take it down. Trust me, I've been there. I've thrown a Lehman Russ onto the table in a small fight, and it just dominates. Especially if they didn't bring anything to handle that kind of a tank. I mean, it's essentially the level of like a Land Raider for the Space Marines, but of course it doesn't have the transport capacity. So yeah, and of course that has a special rule. Each time this model rolls to target, it can reroll ones. The unit can also, if it's within an objective marker, you can reroll all the hits. So it does really have a good bonus as far as hitting. Typically they're only 4+ to hit, but 4+ with a reroll ones, that's better. 4+ with all the rerolls, that's even better than that. So you really want to kind of get that thing. You can plant that on your home objective and just let it do its thing. It's really a nice solid tank. You can also use smoke launchers, the smoke stratagem, and of course there's a lot of things that just specifically work for the Lehman Russ. So that's where I would go with it. Again, real quick, just to follow up, the Cadian Command Squad, I would kind of move them forward as everything else is moving forward, get them to near an objective that you want to control. Your Rough Riders, those are your point and click assault units, and of course I didn't really go over them, so I missed them. Okay, so the Rough Riders, they have the Hunting Lances, which is a nice melee attack for them. So you can either use a melt-a-tip or a frag tip depending on what you're fighting. I'm going to say in most cases you're going to be dropping that melt-a-tip, and it's only one attack in close combat. They do hit on a 3-up. It is strength 9. It is AP -4, which is exactly what you want that thing to do. That you're going to make those horses run forward and smash into tanks. And then they get the Lance rule on top of that, which is, of course, you're anytime that you make a charge, you add +1 to the wound roll. So you are going to be able to take down nice heavy tanks with those melted tip lances. The other thing, of course, you are eligible to shoot and charge in a turn you fell back. That's a fantastic rule for them. That gets them out of combat and back into combat on a regular basis. Obviously, their guns are not fantastic. They have las guns and las pistols. So, but if you're playing Rough Riders for their guns, you're really kind of doing it wrong. So, and a nice 5-man squad, you can kind of poke them into whatever you need to. And again, if you're doing a mirror match, those would be the units that you take to take out that Hellhound or to take out that Leman Russ, because they will do it. And you have 2 of them. You have 2 5-man squads. It's, again, the problem is there are only 5 attacks, but you can work it out. So with that, of course, then you're going to use your Kasrkins and your Chimeras, run out, attack things, get their objectives, whatever you want them to do. And then, of course, your Hellhound and your Leman Russ are just your damage units. You want them to go smash face. So that's it. My list ended up being 995 points. I could have squeaked something down a little bit to maybe get an enhancement in there or something like that. I've been trying to keep a couple extra points on hand when we do these. Again, if you want to change up your Leman Russ, you can make a different Leman Russ, and that would be an incredible amount of points you'll save. I mean, the Vanquisher again does have a 72-inch range, so it's a longer range, and that's got but only 1 shot and a long range. You can also use like the Punisher, that's only about 150 points as opposed to 185. The Punisher Gatling Cannon is 20 shots at 24 inches. Yes, 20 shots. Now they are anti-infantry, they're strength 6, 0 AP, but 20 shots. Think about that. So you do get mow down the enemy with that, which means each time you make an attack with that, that attack has the devastating wounds key rolled. So that is kind of, you get 20 shots that hit on 4 or better, plus you get devastating wounds. It's really not bad. I mean, even at 20 rolls, you'll hit 10 times. You'll probably get devastating 2 or 3 times. Guaranteed, almost guaranteed. Obviously, dice are dice, so things can always change. But really, 20 shots with devastating wounds is quite an amazing thing. Don't ever look down the barrel of that thing. Again, the Exterminator, the Executioner is a solid one that'll save you, 15 points. The Eradicator, I know people like the Eradicator, but I just don't see it. It does have blast and ignore cover. So die 3 plus 6 shots. So I guess you are guaranteed 7 shots at strength 7. I guess that's not bad. Just not. It's not one of the ones that I really love. I do like the Executioner a little bit, but I'm kind of a Plasma fanboy. Die 6 plus 3 shots, strength 7 or 8. The problem is the hazardous. You have to be willing to deal with the hazardous. But wait, I think the Executioner. Each time an attack made with the Executioner Plasma Cannon targets a unit that's below half strength, add +1 to the hit roll. And so, okay, I thought they had an anti-plasma rule or anti-hazardous rule, but I guess not. The only one, and the Demolisher, of course, is a really good one if that's something that you kind of want to feed that into the enemy. I have a Demolisher. I'm quite fond of it. The nice thing about that, die 6 plus 1 attacks. Again, it hits on a 4, strength 14 minus 3 with a die 6. That's really kind of a really cool weapon to put on it. That pairs really nice with multi-meltas, or of course just keep the las cannons on there, and that's fantastic as well. So whatever you really want to do, and of course this is my idea. This is what I would want to see if I was. This would be the advice that I would give somebody that's, hey, I want to play Astra Militarum. I've got the combat patrol. Where do I go next? So that's it. And of course, if you really wanted to, and to be fair, let me throw it out here real quick. If you really wanted to, let me just double check here. The Rogel Dorn is 240 points. So if you dumped out that I should have put in, please, 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 please throw it out there. Let me know. Um, put it in the comments. And then anything else, just remember, I'm here every Thursday. We're doing something, whether it's the podcast or it's paint nights or just talking about other stuff in general. Please, come on, watch, and hang out with us. And please comment. And I try to get back to everybody. I will say, I say right now, I'd like to say I get to everybody, but just in case I miss you, I try to get to everybody. So thanks for watching. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week. And me at Table Ready Painting, we like to help you and your models get on the table and become table ready. So thanks for watching.